do you identify as a perfectionist? Be it capital P or lowercase p. You want to stick to the end of this video because today I am going to give you an overview of one of my most favorite books recently, The Perfectionist Guide to Losing Control by Katherine Morgan Schafler. Okay, she's really cool. She's a psychotherapist and she used to work as an on-site therapist at Google. Really cool. And also she's very pretty. All right, enough about her. What I want to talk about, the first point of this book is that I want to invite you to think that perfectionism is not a quote-unquote disease. It is not. It's a good thing. I want you to think about your perfectionism or perfectionist tendencies as a superpower because it means that you are ambitious and you want to make yourself and the world a better place. Okay? That's it. It's a good thing. So remove any critical thoughts, remove any negative thoughts about judgments about your perfectionist tendencies. Because it is a good thing. Okay? That's number one. That's the most, if you only have one takeaway from this book, be it that one. That it is a good thing to be a perfectionist. Okay? It's inherently good. Alright. The second thing, what I love about this title, okay? Losing control. See? Now, the second thing I want you to take away is there's a major difference between control and power. When we lose control to external things, to outcomes, because again, we have no control over outcomes, or we have very little control over outcomes. What we have control over is ourselves, our mindset, our efforts, our actions, our emotions, just to a large degree, right? We can regulate our emotions. Those are the things that we have control over. That is called power. That's true power comes from within. That you give yourself permission to take care of yourself, to be in the optimal mental, physical, emotional state, and to go after the things that you want in life. Okay, that is true power. Control is about external things. So let go of that and focus on you. Focus on power, let go of control, and focus on true power. Okay? The power of establishing yourself. Making yourself in the best, putting yourself in the best mental, physical, emotional state possible. That's takeaway number 2. Okay? Now, she categorizes perfectionists into five types. Remember, there's the classic one, there's the intense one, there's the classic perfectionist, the intense perfectionist, the Parisian perfectionist, the messy perfectionist, and there's one more that I forgot. And I'm not going to look it up because I'm not trying to be a perfectionist about this book about perfectionists, okay? I know, it's a little meta, but bear with me. Because whatever or whichever category you identify with, the root cause is the same. It's that you attach a part of yourself to the outcome. If the outcome is not great or not as you expected, you punish yourself or you make yourself feel that you are not good enough because the outcome is not good enough. You are not good enough because not everybody likes you, right? That's a Parisian perfectionist thing, all about what people think of you. That you are not good enough because you cannot do this by yourself and you have to ask for help. Asking for help is a key thing to let go of perfectionism. You have to learn to ask for help, okay? So what I'm trying to say is that regardless of which type of perfectionist you identify with, you first have to remove yourself from the outcome, that the outcome does not say anything about your inherent worth. Your self-worth does not depend on the outcome. So with that in mind, one thing, one shift that you can experience immediately, and I guarantee that, is that you will start to try more. You will start to fail more. Because failure does not say anything about who you are. The difference between you and people who are more successful or who have achieved more than what you've achieved, or the people, let me just put it away, where you are right now versus where you want to be, the difference is really how willing are you to fail forward. Why do we find it hard to fail forward? Is because, again, we lack self-compassion. We make it about ourselves. We make our failure about ourselves. So we find it hard to forgive ourselves when we make mistakes. You have to love to make mistakes. It's part of the journey, okay? And making mistakes is a nightmare for perfectionists. That is like a death sentence, okay? I remember when I was younger, making mistakes was like a death sentence because mom and dad would criticize me for making mistakes. There was no space for that. Now that's in the past. You have to create space for yourself to make mistakes, whatever mistakes they are. You have to be super uber compassionate towards yourself. That is how you turn your perfectionist tendencies into a superpower. Because yes, it is. But you have to learn not to work against yourself. If you criticize yourself for making mistakes, if you punish yourself for making mistakes, if you do not let yourself rest, okay? That's a key thing. If you say, I have to get it done by 2 a.m., otherwise I'm going to pull an all-nighter. If you have to punish yourself, if you have to deprive yourself of basic needs, that's when your perfectionism starts to become maladaptive, okay? And it's unfortunately a very, very common thing, especially in our society, in the Western society. So we really have to learn how to do that. And how you learn how to do that is start by being more compassionate towards yourself. Give yourself permission to rest. Remember, rest is not a reward. It is a basic human need. You would not punish yourself for being hungry and wanting food, right? Then why would you punish yourself for wanting to rest? And resting is super important, okay? Also learn to express yourself. Express your needs and wants. This is especially true in workplace. Ask for help. That is super important, okay? And also do not try to solve problems when you are stressed out. This book says calls it strike the iron when it's cold, meaning when you calm down, when the situation cools down a little, then go address it. Because when you are in the heat, in the moment of, when you're in the middle of it, emotions are high, intelligence is low. When you're stressed, nothing's going to be good, okay? You're going to make more mistakes. You're going to operate at less than optimal level, and you're not going to achieve your potential. And then you're going to feel bad about it. So these are all about being compassionate, okay? Understanding, giving yourself space. It's about creating this space. So those are pretty much the key points. I know, of course, I cannot, this is like a 500-page, 300-page book, and it's only taking me 9 minutes to get this done. But of course, you are more than welcome to read it. But if you only have one takeaway, remember, focus on power, work on yourself, right? And relinquish control. Relinquish your control over the external outcome. And also, perfectionism is your superpower. All right, this is I Ching, and I am a weirdly funny nerd who helps you heal through humor. I know this might not be the funniest video that I have, but check out my stand-up comedy and check out my other videos about humor, about writing, about healing. And thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you next week. You're gonna be here next week, right? All right, check out my other videos. You promise? Yeah, pinky promise? Okay, all right, thank you so much. Bye.